Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Make a Better World. My name is David Terr, and today I'm going to talk about another way I think we can make America really great again, and that's with education. And as probably most of you guys know, America has been sliding in education for some time. I think I showed this table in a previous video I made. This is where, according to this source, this is where America ranks compared to other countries around the world. Notice we're 36. This is pretty horrible, and we've been going downhill for some time. We used to be number one. There's different measures of this. I was looking for tables that would show where we were in the past. I couldn't find them, but even though I spent over an hour looking, but I've heard several times people have told me that America used to be number one in education around the world. I think we were in the 50s, 60s, maybe even the 70s, but we've gone way downhill. And there's some pretty other alarming statistics too. These are how much we're spending on education. These are the amount of the number of top universities compared to the amount of money spent on higher education. Notice that the United States is almost last on this list of about 20 countries. So, and we're like what 0.2 billion. I mean, yeah. So that's the number of universities per $1 billion, and that's only about 15% of the number one country, which is Switzerland. So we're spending a lot of education money on education and not getting much out of it. And good news is that enrollment's been going up ever since 1960. It's still going up. More and more people are actually going to high school and completing high school and completing college. So that's a good thing. I don't know how much they're getting out of it, but they're going to school more. And this is breakdown by state, I guess. The blues are the highly educated states. The reds are the ones with worse education. This not doesn't surprise me too much. These are kind of like the red and blue states in the elections. Notice that the blue states are the kind of the Democratic states, and I guess the Democrats emphasize education a lot more than Republicans, and it kind of shows on this map. The whole middle of the country is pretty uneducated. And also, I think people tend to be more educated in bigger cities, and I think the middle of the country has more rural areas, so they don't get as good education. But this is a problem. I mean, we're becoming more and more ignorant as a country, and I think it's the ignorant people who are voting Republican. They don't really know what's going on. They just kind of hear stories from their friends, But the people are really educated. They know what's going on in the world, and they care about real issues. So I think this is an interesting map. What else we got here? This is a decline in federal funding for education. I guess there's a percentage that's federally funded and state funding. And look at this. 1920, we were the federal government was spending over 80% of the total education budget for the country, and now it's 45%. So our government, our federal government, has made education a lower and lower priority over the years. I think that's pretty bad. What else we got here? Yeah, and teachers are getting less too. Teachers have always gotten not enough money, I think, but it's been getting worse. I mean, in 2012, it wasn't too bad. This is kind of a new phenomenon. In the last 10 years, the amount of money, the salary that teachers make has gone down pretty sharply. This is adjusted for inflation, this red graph. And it's only been the last few years it's gone way down. If you look at it more historically, this is a better. I mean, yeah. Here's a graph for more. No, I think I already showed you that one. Oh yeah, this one. Oh no. Oh yeah. So this shows a longer time period. I guess this graph starts in around 1960, and the light green one's not adjusted for inflation, but the dark green one is, and even adjusted for inflation, public school teachers are actually making more money now than they did in 1960. Not much more, but a little bit more. and it's been kind of steady, I'd say, over the last 30 years or so. But it's not that much. I mean, 60,000 a year. That's about what public school teachers are getting now. I don't think it's that much money. I mean, I think the average household income in America is about that right now. So, a lot of people with pretty shitty jobs are getting about the same amount of money as teachers. And look at the service that teachers are doing. I mean, this is something I think that's not just a problem now. I think it's been a problem all throughout our history. We just don't value education enough. We don't pay teachers enough. I mean, we pay doctors, lawyers, other professional people, a lot more than teachers. But I think teachers are doing just as good a service, maybe even a better service. And the other thing you don't realize is that, if you're paying by the hour, you're only paying for the number of hours they're actually teaching in the classroom. They've got a lot more work they got to do. They got to do all their grading. They got to prepare all their syllabus. They're probably working an extra 20 hours a week for money that they're not even getting paid for. So, and I know this, because I used to be a teacher, and I know it's a problem. So those are all problems with our educational system, particularly here in America. I think it's pretty bad. We're definitely not valuing education enough. I think the federal government has to, fund a lot more education like we used to, and I think teachers should get paid more. But I mean, education's expensive. That is a concern. But what else can we do? Well, nothing we would do is online education. I think online education could be really, really excellent. I mean, we have this wonderful tool now called the internet. We've had it for about 30 years, and the internet is just an amazing source of information. We have all this information at our fingertips now. We used to have to go to the library to look things up. Information didn't used to be so readily accessible as it is today. And if you look at, I mean, this isn't just because of the internet. I mean, if you look at the amount of information that our society has had, it's been growing exponentially. And this is a mark of how advanced a civilization is, how much access it has to information. And if you look at IQ scores, actually people's IQs have been going up pretty sharply for ever since they've been having IQ tests, which means that people are getting smarter. It doesn't always seem that way, but we are actually getting a lot smarter, and it's a lot. I mean, I've seen statistics on this. Our IQ today is about 30 points higher than it was 100 years ago, which means that people from 100 years ago we now consider mentally challenged or mentally retarded. Pretty surprising to me. But we could do a lot with online education, and I just think that's something we need to think about. And in general, I just think we need to make education a priority again. Education's the future, and we have to be able to compete with other countries. Not just that, but we have to have an educated population, educated workforce. We'll have better jobs if people have a better education. We'll be able to make the world better with educated citizens. So that's my talk about education. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next.